Hello and welcome. My name is Stuart Matheson. I run FractionalClients.com. As you can see here, what I want to do in this video is show you everything to do with who we work with, what we do, how much it costs, basically everything that you might need to know to figure out if you would like to work with us or not. So let's get started. So who are we for? Who do we exist to serve? We work exclusively with fractional executives, charging the equivalent to $100 to $400 per hour, meaning you might be charging a monthly rate, that's fine, as long as it boils down to roughly $100 to $400 per hour. You have to be looking for more clients in the next 3 to 6 months or so, and you have to be not really wanting to do all of the core business development work yourself, because that's what we're going to do for you. I started the company in 2021, rebranded to FractionalClients.com in 2023, which is when we started to work with fractional executives. And in that time, we've worked with way over 100, probably close to 150 by now, helping them sign multiple seven figures in clientele. Now, there's a couple of conditions. You have to be selling to 1 to 30, maybe 1 to 50 million revenue businesses in the following sectors: tech, finance, healthcare, manufacturing, and professional services. It's okay if your target market only overlaps with this, meaning maybe you're selling to 20 to 100 million, that would be fine. Maybe you're selling to tech and retail, that would be fine as well, because there's overlap. The reason we have these specifications is because these are the markets that we do really well in. We don't want to work with you if we're not confident we can give you a great ROI, of course. So that's why we're pretty set on these industries. Outside of that, it can be a lot harder and a lot less predictable to get results. The other thing to mention here is we actually don't work with CIOs or CISOs. Same reason. We've worked with a couple. It was really, really hard to get results. And for that reason, we're not confident we can get results for them. We only want to work with people we're confident we can get results for. So what do we actually do? We're not a recruitment company. We're not gonna, we don't have companies that are ready to hire that we just pair you up with and then that's done. We don't build clients on your behalf like some sort of agency or anything like that. We basically are viewing you as a business that needs business development marketing solutions. So we create your entire client acquisition strategy, implement all of it on LinkedIn for you, and give you all of the tools, resources, knowledge needed to build and scale your own fractional leadership practice. The whole idea here is that by working with us, you don't have to worry about your pipeline. You can charge higher prices and ultimately sign more, better, and higher paying clients. That's the whole idea of what we're doing. So how do we make that happen? We really have two stages. We have the pre-outreach stage and then the outreach stage itself. Before we start doing outreach, before we begin the business development, we together with you need to know who are we targeting, what's the ICP, what is the outreach messaging, once we actually get meetings booked, what is the sales process, what are the offers, the positioning and branding. We all need to be confident in it so that when we start the outreach, we actually have a reasonable degree of confidence that it's going to work. We do all of this in the first 30 days. Our support in this includes both one-to-one meetings with yourself, and we also give you a lot of videos and templates for you to do certain parts yourself. So for example, we have a video on offers that allows you to create the best offers for your market, and then of course you can run it by us, get our thoughts on it, and then together we have something that we're happy with. If you take a look at the pitch deck, there's a link here that you can click on to learn more about the videos and templates that you get when you sign up with us. And then typically around the start of month 2, sometimes a little bit quicker, sometimes a little bit later, depending on how quickly we can get outreach, get the setup and onboarding done, then we start outreach. So what are we doing here? We build the lead list, we get the right prospects that fit your ideal market, we make contact with them, that's on your LinkedIn. We're not actually seen anywhere in the process, even though we're influencing from behind the scenes. And then we book the interested leads onto meetings. So we're really doing that first half, finding the good leads, contacting them, getting them onto meetings with you, and then we advise on the rest. So you take the meetings, you assign them as clients, they're 100% your clients, but we can advise with that whole closing process. So how does that first sales meeting go? How do you actually sign them? What are the offers, etc.? We want to work with you on that, but we're not doing it for you, if that makes sense. One of the good things about LinkedIn outreach is it's very iterative, and you can see what's working and what's not working quite quickly, to be honest with you. So we start with maybe 4 to 6 different campaigns, and then every 2 or 3 weeks or so, we can see what's doing well and what isn't, so that we can iterate, and as it says there, achieve more results faster. Speaking of results, what are the results you can expect? So the results we get, they can vary. Like sometimes we'll get a client where maybe you take 3 meetings and close 2 of them, which is incredible. Maybe it could be as much as 15 meetings, but you only sign 1 of them. So the averages are sometimes quite tough to gauge because there's such a variance. But generally, we're looking at 6 to 12 meetings booked. From that, you should have roughly a 20 to 30% conversion rate, which comes out to 1 to 3 clients signed. And with the nature of your work, with the nature of our work, typically even just 1 reasonably sized client will give you a great ROI, which is fantastic. And anything more than that, well, that's perfect. And aside from just doing the actual business development to get you these clients, we want to help you with everything around that as well. So again, making your offer better, having your brand, your positioning stand out, everything around the business development to make your whole fractional leadership business do really well as, again, the implementation of the business development, which is, of course, a very crucial part. We've done this for a lot of people. Again, way over 100 fractional executives. We only have 6 testimonials here. I've way over 30 on my LinkedIn profile if you want to take a look. The good thing about testimonials in your LinkedIn profile is you can actually go and see who gave you them and make sure they're not fake or anything like that. Again, in this document, feel free to click this link and you can see a lot of different testimonials, case studies. I'm sure you'll be able to relate to some of them to get an idea of the results, the journey, the transformation that you can expect when you work with us. This is people in Canada, USA, Australia, the UK, all over basically doing different roles, as you can see, fractional CFO, CMO, CRO, CTO, in tech, logistics, and services, everything I was talking about earlier in the video. And it's worth mentioning as well, with most of these people, their LTV, their lifetime value of the clients that they sign through us, will typically be anywhere from maybe $40,000 to $100,000. That's very typical for a fractional executive. Maybe it's $5,000 to $10,000 per month. That's probably about average. And then maybe you retain them for, say, 6 months to a year, something like that. So that's really what we would be looking to get you. At least one of them from one of the leads that we generate, at least in that first 3 months. Now, how does our fee structure work? So we have 3 different options. If you haven't worked with us before, we can usually rule out the elite option. It's a really big commitment. It's $58,000 a year, or $6,000 if you pay each month, but it's a yearly commitment. Typically for people we've already worked with, we have a high degree of confidence in what we're doing. Usually they want to scale from 6 to 7 figures and they need a real partner in place, not just to do the business development, but also things like HR and recruiting as well. So it's a whole different beast. That leaves us with standard and premium. The easy way to explain this is with standard, we do the implementation for you, but that's it. Whereas with premium, we do the implementation, we also get all of our IP and our knowledge and our expertise that comes with it. So you get, again, all of the implementation. We do the targeting, the outreach copywriting, LinkedIn profile optimizations, the outreach, the appointment setting, of course, with constant communication with you on Slack each week. And then usually we have a monthly review call as well. And then on top of that, you have 12 video training videos and guides. Again, you can click that link I showed you from before to get a deeper sense of what's actually in there. But it's basically everything you need to do really well as a fractional exec from what we've learned from way over 100 top performing fractional leaders. Because you're kind of on our system, like we're doing the business development, we've given you all of our knowledge, we can have a high degree of confidence in what we're doing. That's why we have a guarantee. The way the guarantee works is if you go through at least 3 months with us, because it's a 3 month commitment, and you don't sign a client, you don't make an ROI from our outreach, we'll keep going for free. You can say to us, hey, look, I've done this, I've not signed a client yet, and we can then redo the strategy, because obviously that's needed if you haven't signed a client, and then we do the outreach again. And in theory, we can do that as many times as needed until you actually make an ROI. Not that it's going to be needed to be done that many times. We actually have a really good success rate there. It's an under 10% use rate. So less than 10% of our clients have actually had to use that guarantee, which we're pretty proud of. And as a nice bonus, effectively, you can also go on to Fractional Impact, which is our own podcast. We run it on LinkedIn. And it's all about you. The episode is all about you, your expertise, your stories, etc. And we can take from that 2 to 5 minute edited clips that you can then post to LinkedIn. They're great because it means someone goes onto your LinkedIn and instead of just seeing your profile picture and your name, they can actually hear you in action. They see your face, they hear you talking about your expertise. It's basically the easiest way to build up rapport with someone with no extra effort, which is really cool. So how much do these cost? With Standard, which again is just us doing it for you, totally outsourced, we're not helping you with anything. It's $1,500 per month plus 10% revenue share, or if you don't want revenue share, you can do a fixed fee of $2,500 per month. With the premium, which I'll let you into a little secret, over 90% of our clients go on premium because of the guarantee and all of the stuff that comes with it. That's $2,000 per month plus 10% revenue share, or a fixed fee of $3,000 per month. So over a 3 month commitment to get the guarantee and that kind of thing, you're looking at $9,000. Under $10,000 for everything you're generating there, both the short-term value of signing clients and the long-term value of gaining deeper knowledge, getting more connections, better positioning, basically everything I've talked about in the past 10 or 15 minutes or so. So let's go on to sort of the numbers, because the way I look at it is if you want to work, if you're looking at price and cost, do not work with us. If you're looking at ROI, that is where we are the better option. If you can sign one client that's, let's say, $200 per hour, maybe it's 1.5 days per week you're working for them and you retain them for 9 months. Again, pretty standard stuff for a fractional leader that knows what they're doing. That would be a return of $90,000 from one client. And again, if it was premium with non-revenue share, then you'd be looking at $9,000 as the investment there, which is a 10x return, actually, now that I think about it. Pretty good. And if that doesn't happen, you have the guarantee. If it does happen and you get more clients, well, I'm sure I don't need to sell you on that idea as well. So in summary, if you are a fractional leader, you're watching this and you want new roles, you don't want to have to do all of the business development, the follow-up, everything yourself, this could be very good for you. We genuinely challenge you, we encourage you, like, can you find another company that works exclusively with fractional executives, does all of this for you that I've talked about on a guaranteed or even just a partially revenue share basis that shows you're in the same boat as them? We've never came across anyone, certainly not anyone that has nearly as many success stories and testimonials as we do. One last thing before I finish the video, the only extra expense you need or extra cost to bear in mind outside of us is Sales Navigator. We need you to have a Sales Navigator. It costs roughly $120 per month. They change it all the time, but it's something like that right now. So that is worth noting before I finish the video. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, especially if you've made it to the end of this video. Book a call, give us an email, do whatever you need to do to get in touch with us, and hopefully we will chat soon. All right, thank you so much. Take care.